Hey everyone, and welcome to our final pitches video of the year.
Incorrect, Jack the Jobber. It's New Year's Day. Happy New Year, everybody. We are live around the world. We are sat here on New Year's Day night shooting this Pitches for 2021 video. Happy New Year.
It's 2021, and I just, lads, I can't believe that everything's all right now. There's racial equality, around the world. COVID's over. Everything's looking absolutely fantastic. Have you heard about these new super cities they're building where everyone's got houses and food? It sounds like it's going to be class. Anyway, it's time for our 9 pitches for wrestling in 2021. If you've never seen a pitches video before and you've just stumbled across this somehow, then basically what will happen is we'll go around in a circle. Maffew, then Ross, then myself. We'll all give a pitch. And by the end, after 3 goes around, we'll have 9 pitches on how to improve or better wrestling in 2021. And remember, of course, our golden rule. It's not what we think is going to happen. It's what we want to happen. Yes. Anyway. Get in there. So, Maffew, do you want to start us off?
I'd like to, after that lovely introduction where the first words out your mouth were, yay lads, racial inequality.
I meant equality. I meant racial.
Oh, man. Obviously, we're Cultaholic. We're trying to be positive as much as possible. Given everything that's happened in 2020, I think I'll have a little serious one to begin with. Maybe Ross and Jack will follow as well. But then we do promise to get a bit more positive. Like how I think we should take 2020 in general. It sucked. Then let's be positive.
Yeah, okay.
One of the many, many reasons why 2020 sucked so bad was the impact of the speaking out movement. Realising that many supposed adults were acting like little coked up bands when the parents were away for the weekend and it was nothing but non-stop house parties. Many people have looked at the situation and thought, oh, this is kind of bad, but what are you going to do? Not my problem, right? And Pete Dunne recently did an interview where he said, quote, I was doing the best I could and so were a lot of people, but it's above us. And we need people who actually know how to make the correct changes. And there is some positive news of the whole speaking out movement. In September 24, 2020, the British government launched a formal all-party parliamentary group inquiry into the UK wrestling scene after the countless allegations that came out of the speaking out movement. The inquiry will be headed by Alex Davies-Jones, we got the name right. And so far, Progress and Trust Wrestling announced they've been working with the AAPG. We get that right. And I know, sadly, there's not one decision, not one but the press, that's going to fix everything. But it's a start if we're going to get that lovely, lovely period of UK and Irish wrestling that we enjoyed so much these past few years. And if shows are going to be happening again next year, if that vaccine works, obviously if this is coming out in 2021, then obviously it has. But there's not things in place right now to help or prevent situations like this. And me, as someone who enjoyed a lot of shows the past few years, am I buggery going to go to shows in the situation that they are? If everyone comes back and goes, phew, glad COVID's over, I'm like, all right, have a good one, you bunch of whatevers. Yeah, so that's what I hope for 2021. There's something to be done about all this horribleness. For the APPG inquiry to move on and people go to these wrestling shows, they get into wrestling and carry on training and doing whatever and feel a bit more safe.
I mean, It's a yes from me. I don't know. You can't really be like, well,
oh, yeah, you're right. No, it's Ross going, Maffew, some bad points you've made there.
No. It's a yes from me, obviously. Very important stuff to make. No, I mean, obviously, you've given the specific example there of something that might be put through British Parliament. But generally, we just want worldwide wrestling to be a safer place for everybody. Right. I know you meant that, but you were just giving a specific example. So it's a yes from me, obviously. Ross, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, it's a yes from me as well. It's if just to look at it from a positive standpoint, these dickheads have been kicked out of the business and they'll never come back in. So that's been a positive thing to look from this entire situation.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I did forget the format of pitches involves you guys voting on it. That looks really bad on me. I am sorry. But we will move on to Ross now, who I think has another serious one.
Yes, I've got this one titled Less is More, and I'm just sitting watching AEW at the minute thinking, wow, it's going quite well at the moment, lads and lasses. Apparently they have this new TV show, this secondary TV show, and if they can pull out the deal, I'm going to suggest do it, because everything's fine now, and the only way we can go with another TV show and more creative that needs to be put into this second TV show is down. And as we see in WWE at the moment, SmackDown is crapping all over Raw. A large reason for that is Raw is 3 hours, SmackDown has 2, Raw has more filler, SmackDown has more killer. So less wrestling is more. So I want to see... It's absolutely impossible, but then again, the pictures videos are what we want to happen, not what we think will happen, and I don't think this will happen. I just want some wrestling just to go away so we can focus on the good stuff and just put the good content out there and take, like, for example, just to peel the curtain back, why not? We've done it in every other video. We're sat here on December the 17th. So the Raw that happened this week, the first third was great, the second 2/3 was too wacky, and they were throwing too many ideas up against the wall, and none of them hit. So just get rid of all the filler, focus on the killer, less is more. There we go.
So you'd say shorter shows?
Shorter shows, less shows. And I guess that's another positive of 2020, if you want, is the fact that these 27-hour WWE pay-per-views have gone, haven't they? WrestleMania was 2 nights. I hope that remains for the rest of time. I really enjoyed the fact it was cut in half. And even still, you look at matches like Elias versus King Corbin, wasn't there? And Bobby Lashley versus Aleister Black on WrestleMania. They can go. Less is more.
It's a yes from me, but it's weird you saying that your pitch to improve wrestling in 2021 is less wrestling. But I know what you mean. Shows are really long right now. WrestleMania went through a phase of just being so long. I think that culminated in New York when Becky Lynch won in the main event. That seemed like a very, very long show. Didn't that finish at
everyone was dead. Yeah, everyone was dead and she didn't get the ovation she should have got, maybe.
Yeah. Didn't that finish like 1 a.m. or something? Or approaching that?
It was past midnight USA
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
which was the issue because then there weren't any trains.
Oh.
And what was it, that argument that we had with the city going, well, we'd said around midnight, and they're like, it's tomorrow.
Man.
We don't have trains running forever for you. Like you said, you was going to finish today. It's not the right day. And there were some, I forget who he was, but some famous influencer was there. I don't think he's a wrestling dude per se, but he's going, wow, it's great here being at WrestleMania. And he was panning and seeing all the people asleep next to him. And the show's still on. So, yes, I am with you. With the ratings going the way they are currently, it might be we might be getting there already if there's going to be 3-hour shows on Raw with the lowest ratings they've ever had. And they're going to look at that and go, ooh, that's a bit bad. I might have to run that down. We get 2-hour Raws again because they're great. They're 2-hour, that's fine. 3-hour. Oof. That's a meal deal, that.
Obviously understand why from a business perspective, you get more adverts, you get more money. But you're sacrificing a hell of a lot of quality, aren't you? And just putting yourselves out there in a bad position. Like, imagine if you just cut all the crap off Raw and just focus on the good stuff. It seems too simplistic to do on these pitches videos, but I desperately want it to happen. Because I'm sick of people saying wrestling's bad.
Yeah, you're right. It's not. It's just 33% of wrestling is bad.
Yeah, it's the stuff they have to throw in there to fill the time. So if they had less time to fill, we're going to have more good things. Or just the same amount of good things and less bad things. That's the right way to say it.
That's right. Well, it's a very positive thumbs up from me. What say you, Jack?
Me as well. It's a thumbs up from me. And just to remind everybody watching, these don't have to be grounded in the realms of possibility. Just in case anyone was going to say, well, the network would never stand for that.
Exactly,
It's what we want to happen.
What we want to happen.
Absolutely.
Yes. I don't think we've said that enough.
My first pitch is to do with it's to do with the Royal Rumble, because the Royal Rumble, right? No matter how bad WWE gets, no matter how unenthused I might be at certain times of the year if they've hit a bad run of form, I'll never not get excited for a Royal Rumble because of the format. It's a perfect little format. It's so simple but so effective. I like the idea that anyone can win it, even though, you know, usually it's down to like 4 people who might win it. But I'll never really not get excited for it because it's just timeless. And I know that the difficulty is with running a promotion that isn't WWE, finding your Royal Rumble equivalent, because it's so good, but it can't be exactly replicated because it's a bit, I guess, legal issues and stuff. I mean, small indie promotions and stuff run Rumbles all the time, but I'm talking about like national level. So I want to see AEW find an equivalent or a better equivalent for the Royal Rumble, because they've got the Casino Battle Royale, but it's not ideal, is it, for various reasons? Maffew, I know you're not particularly a fan of it. Is it the group entrances? Is it just generally... Yes. Right, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, they nailed it. It becomes less... It's really hard to get everybody's individual stuff over when there's 5 of them coming out at once, and it's a bit of a mess. Even when they do have the best producers they can steal from Impact Wrestling trying to
And that first show as well, which we were all at, Double or Nothing, I just remember us squinting during the pre-show going, is that Glacier? Just like there's 5 people walking down and we're like, hang on.
Just a Robert. It is Glacier, Jimmy Havoc, Kip Sabian, and he's looking at the notes going, and their friends.
Yeah. So I think they need to find a better format. Now, it's tricky, isn't it? Because how do you improve on the Royal Rumble? I don't really have any sort of clue. What I want to happen is for AEW or any other promotion to find their Rumble equivalent and for it to be really good. We tried it in WCPW with the Magnificent 7 briefcase, which was more like Money in the Bank, really. And it's so hard. It's so
Whose
hard
idea was that, Jack?
I don't know, actually.
Neither do I. That was a genuine question.
Oh, I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say it was yours. I thought you were going to be like, it was me.
Jack, I was in those booking meetings for about 2 weeks. I just sat there in the corner being quiet because I thought, lovely, couple hours off work, I'll have a nice sit down and think about life. And then I wasn't invited back. So there you go.
Yeah. Ross was writing down things he'd rather be watching than being in this meeting. He wrote that Magnificent 7. He went, that's a great idea, mate.
So I can't think of anything in particular. This was the pitch that I thought of last. I wanted to come to the table with an actual idea, but if it was that easy to think of an idea, then someone would have done it by now and made a big success out of it. I think they could tweak the Casino Battle Royale, get rid of the group thing, but then it just becomes a Royal Rumble with a mystery entrant. I like the idea of the Joker and everything and the mystery entrant, by the way. That's pretty good. But I don't know.
They could still do the draw aspect, but instead of having the whole, like, 4 or 5 that draw that suit. That's the right phrase, isn't it? The suit. I don't know my cards very well. They could just be like the first 5 who draw the spade. They come out first, but they come out one by one instead of all 5 at the same time. And you still get that sort of, if there is a shock entrant, you still get that like individual pop, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. There was an interesting one, and I don't even think it was their invention. I think it comes from Mexican wrestling. But Chikara had an annual match, which was like a twist on the Survivor Series format where you had 2 teams of 5 and then it would be elimination. Do you know the name of it, Maffew? Cybernetico.
Wow, I've thought about that for a while.
2 teams. I remember Larry Sweeney making a surprise entrance in one and everyone went absolutely mad. So they all came out 5 on 5. It's elimination. Then the winning team's survivors all have a match against each other to get an ultimate winner, which I think was quite a nice little twist on it. So things are possible, but I don't know where to go. My pitch is a bit of an empty one. It's just Rumble, but different. Go. That's my pitch.
I think we understand what you're saying. And by the way, the way I remembered the name of that thing was going through the names in my head of the shows, because they added a Batman flavour to it, because it was something Returns, something Forever. I'm like, Cybernetico. And Robin was the last one I did.
I thought for a long time I thought Cybernetico was a luchador.
You can see it, especially Cybernetico Ant. And I get what you're saying. AEW right now is, it's one of the big criticisms is that they use a lot of stuff that has been made or established everywhere else. Hasn't helped them that Sting has shown up recently. So what you're saying is have their own unique thing. They distance themselves from WWE. But given the fact that WWE's taken nearly all the good NWA/WCW stuff already, they are forced to come up with something new, or resort to World War III 3-ring battle royal.
Oh no! I'd rather not see World War III, to be honest. That's a bad stipulation. Come on, do you like it?
No.
Okay.
But I was trying to see. I'm trying to help your point. Yes, AW needs to have that thing that go, oh look, we may have had everything else homaged, borrowed from every other company that's ever existed, but this is unique.
Yeah. In
a good way. And right now I can't think of anything, but that's not my job to think. It's my job to criticize and pretend that I know more than people who are paid lots of money to do their job. So I'm with you, Jack. It's a thumbs up for hope. What do you think, Ross?
Cheers.
Yeah, I'm very much the same, but I'm asking the question, can you trademark a concept? I know you can trademark a name, the Royal Rumble name, but can you trademark, I know you're on about the legal ramifications earlier on there, can you trademark just the concept of 30 people or however many people coming out one by one and fighting in the middle of a ring? Can you trademark that? Why don't they just do it and call it something else?
I've never thought of that, actually.
Good point, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they'd get criticism for just ripping it off, but
I mean, I would understand personally.
yeah, it's just so
Do it,
good.
why not? It's just it is the best match ever. Well, you're looking at when you're coming into a match before it actually happens, you're thinking, wow, this is like the best time of the year, the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what the sort of ins and outs of that situation are. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I do, like we all like to do here on the YouTube. But yeah, fully on board. Whoever has to make that call, all the best to you.
What did the Fight Wrestling call their Battle Royal?
That was the Magnificent Seven briefcase.
No, that was the ladder match.
The Battle Royal was the Kurt Angle Invitational for a match against Kurt Angle.
No. It was the same year as the greatest Royal Rumble.
Oh, this would have been
It's the same weekend, in fact.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said.
We were.
No, I did an entrance with Primate for a Royal Rumble kind of thing.
Oh, that was the No Regrets Rumble.
Yeah, that was no. Oh, there we go. The No Regrets.
That
Rumble,
was a
yeah.
Rumble, but it was the one where you could have pinfalls and submissions as well.
There you go. There you go. If you add that little thing, that's fantastic. Yeah.
It was a good match. It featured Adam
mate.
Pacitti.
So good.
Martin Kirby won at the end, which everyone loved. And Pacitti got pinned, but also wanted to see if he could do it. He wanted to also, after he got pinned, he wanted to get thrown over the top to see if he could do it, and clipped his bollock on the apron.
I burned my cock.
So, yeah.
It was the 47th most embarrassing thing to happen to me in front of a camera.
Maffew, what's your second pick?
Cool. Well, getting on the less serious thing, I'll have to get that out there. Sorry, when I was told what you want, what differences do you want to make in 2021 as opposed to 2020, it's the first thing I thought of. Going back to the cynical, grumbling wrestling cynic that we all want to see. For WWE, less gimmick pay-per-views. Please, 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 what I've typed here. Please, please, please stop the post-SummerSlam cycle of Clash of the Champions, of all the titles being defended, followed by Hell in a Cell, followed by the brand split, followed by Survivor Series with people who have just left the brand to now defend the rights of that brand, then TLC. Every year we say this because every year it's true. It's hell for the storylines and giving people a reason to get into these things when nearly all the main feuds are built around these gimmicks as opposed to with them. They've been very, very lucky this year to have Roman Reigns be the best he's possibly ever been since coming to WWE, where these issues have left a lot less than he would have normally for previous years. We've had to get excited for Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens, or whatever they've been serving us. Again, I'm going to say this until they stop doing it. It's an easy grumble. It's a very lazy one, but I'm standing by it. What say you, Ross?
I fully agree. I miss the days when we were young, going back 20 years, when you would have a feud, you would have the main event feud, and you knew that it couldn't get any worse when the words Hell in a Cell were mentioned. That was the worst stipulation you could have in all of wrestling. It didn't get any more barbaric or devastating than Hell in a Cell, but now you've got to wait until October. Get rid of them. Simple as.
I agree, because another thing, not just the fact that it dilutes the stipulations themselves, but it really telegraphs the storytelling in the build-up. We just saw at the time of recording Kevin Owens cutting a great promo, but saying, I've not really got many friends in this business, but I've got 3 friends in particular.
Oh my God.
Tables, ladders and chairs. And you know that someone's going to put their foot in it as well when they say, I think you mentioned this once, Matthew. It was one of you, I can't remember who, but someone will inevitably say something, a heel bit enough more than they can chew by saying, I'm going to climb the ladder to success. And then the opponent goes, a ladder, is it? Well, let me tell you.
Ding.
Yeah. Or, I'll see you in hell. And then it's hell in a cell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll eliminate your chamber.
Yeah. Because at this Sunday at Hell in a Cell, it would be no more appropriate to challenge you, Kevin Owens, to a street fight. It doesn't work, does it? So that's my pick. I think I've got 2 thumbs up there. I'm doing really well here. That means next up is Ross.
Treat the wrestlers like humans, finally. This is way above my head. I've got no idea the ins and outs of unionisation. I have seen Some people say it's a fantastic idea. I've seen some people say it's a terrible idea. So I'm not even going to start suggesting that unionisation should happen in 2021. But a starter for the people who break their bodies inside the professional wrestling ring. This goes for all of the major companies who can afford it. We know they can afford it. Health insurance. Get it done. That's a good starting place. And then maybe it's something that Jim Sterling said on a Straight to Hell, which was published, I do believe, on Boxing Day. But by the time this has gone out, no doubt Adam's changed his mind because that's his favourite thing to do. Jim Sterling said introduce seasons. There's enough wrestlers, especially in WWE, to introduce seasons for WWE. One crew does one season, they have a bit of time off. Another crew does another season, they're working half the time. Their careers, in theory, could last twice as long. That maths checks out, yes it does. But yeah, and stop the Twitch stuff. I I get it if they're using like WWE IP. I get if Zelina Vega was making money using a name that doesn't belong to her. But that's where it should stop. Stop taking a billionaire shouldn't have to take a spare change for him away from somebody who it's like worth a lot more to, if you know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, just treat them more like humans. And I think it's about time.
It's a no from me, Ross. I think you should treat them like robots. And just no. Yeah, it's a big issue, isn't it, in wrestling? But one which actually seems to be getting more attention this past year. It seems like we might have hit a bit of a turning point, hopefully, and we'll start seeing wrestlers get treated better, especially, obviously, in America, or just parts of the world generally, where universal healthcare isn't a thing, bizarrely. So it's an easy yes from me. Maffew.
I know people hear the union word and go, uh-oh, social communism. But all right, maybe not that, but at least something to give more power to the actual wrestlers. Now that it's a lot easier to get your self-worth across with social media than it was back in the day. Now people, if they got rejected by WWE and left, they'd be like, all right, cool. RF video shoot interview, a 3-month run with TNA, and then gone back to stocking shelves at Morrison's. Now people are lasting longer. There's a lot more for people to do. That's why more options are coming available. So now people are worth more away from the company than they would have been beforehand. Now they know that. They at least have some value in which to get themselves back with WWE. Do I know how? No. But it's got to be something better than, you're doing Twitch voluntarily out of your own spare time. Cool. We'll take that out of your downside agreement then. I mean, shocking.
Yeah. But that's because, Maffew, I never forget reading a PW Insider article where they had a source within the company who said this was fine for them to do because they're on the road less these days.
Oof.
So immediately you said, does that change when they go back on the road then? Does it? Does it? Bollocks.
Ross, that story is unbelievable. You read PW Insider and it wasn't the top 500 wrestlers of the year. I've already called him F on that. Nah. Yeah, it's a thumbs up from me, even though you made up story at the end. Jack, what have you got for us?
My second pitch involves basically something that I talked about on my Straight to Hell with Ross. Originally, this pitch was going to be bring back Lucha Underground, but then I thought, well, Lucha Underground was ran terribly and it exploited a lot of wrestlers through weird contracts and it locked them into situations that they didn't want to be in and stuff like that. So I thought, well, maybe not bring back Lucha Underground, but I'd like to see the birth of a promotion in 2021, which is sort of high concept like Lucha Underground was. It's its own self-contained universe. It's wacky and outlandish, and it just gives us something different because we often enjoy wrestling shows the best when they are a many ring circus, when there's some comedy and there's some hardcore and all sorts. And I think that goes for the wrestling industry as a whole. So I'd like to see more of a crazy, high-end, highly produced wrestling promotion in the vein of Lucha Underground, which was inspired a lot by, comics and that sort of thing. And just see how far you could take it and see if people would enjoy it. Because at the start, Lucha Underground was really good, and then the decline was quite something to behold. And I think Jake Hager might still be the Lucha Underground champion as we speak. So I'd like to see a new promotion, which is very different. What do we think?
It's funny you say that, Jack. Did you see Triple Mania?
I did see bits. I saw the second half.
Would you believe who was on the second half?
Spider-Man and them?
That's right, Spider-Man and them. Well said. Yes, Marvel had some sort of deal where they have the wrestlers appear as the wrestlers based on the characters. With Spider-Man appearing as he was a wrestler in Spider-Man 1. So I thought that was a nice touch.
Oh, was it? Yes.
Yeah. So I think people are already starting to do that. And AAA, I'm not sure if this is for sure or not, but I've read somewhere that they wouldn't have been able to do Triple Mania in front of an empty arena if it hadn't been for the fact that Marvel were paying them a lot of money. So I think you should watch more AAA and get behind this revolutionary concept that is a bit borrowed from Lucha Underground. You're quite right. But yeah, moving on from that, Lucha Underground was a lovely idea. Speaking of unionizations giving power to workers, what a weird set of contracts they had when they went, well, we're not taping anything for another 12 months, but you're still in the contract, so you can't go anywhere else. Because then wrestlers to go, what?
Yeah.
You're going to pay me until then? No. Yeah, very balmy how that happened, but what a show when it was on. Well, our first few seasons were very special to watch. Dragons, luchadors, people diving off little things. Other stuff, that was crazy. Yeah, miss it, and it would be nice to see something like that come back.
I don't know whether... Oh, wait, I was just going to say, I don't know whether, just to try and make this pitch a bit different, I don't know whether it should be lucha-based. I'm trying to think of a different theme. I can't think of one at the minute. The Old West. I don't know. Cowboys and that.
Fall Guys.
Fall Guys.
Fall Guys in the West.
Yeah. There we go. We want Fall Guys Western wrestling. Yeah, Ross.
I'm fully on board, just as long, Jack, as it's related to my first pitch here in the pitches video for 2021. An hour's TV a week, so it's all killer and no filler.
An hour? Oh, they did do... Lucha Underground was an hour, wasn't it, as well? Yeah. So, in fact, sometimes they'd have a show-long match. The all-night-long match, I think it was called, which is brilliant because it just made me think of Lionel. Yeah. Maffew, we have your third pitch, please.
Right. Well, obviously they want to make this misery central, the first few ones I did. So, all I'm saying is, in the 80s, cocaine was legal. That's not actually true.
Where's this going?
But if you watched any wrestling from that decade, especially in WWF, you'd be forgiven for thinking that was a fact. I am bored to death of seeing people come out and go, well, me and you, Randy, we're going to fight for momentum at next week's network special, sponsored by the Middle of Little. Grr, catchphrase. Or having Riddle come out and be like, hey, I'm a stoner. Whoa, Roman Reigns, am I right? Hey, please like me. Give all the wrestlers cocaine. If you want me to cheer for them, give them coke. I don't want to hear Drew talk about how he's so happy to be here and he's got his granddad's sword or whatever. I want him to talk about how he's going to slam Randy Orton so hard that Ben Nevis is going to crack open. It doesn't make any sense because it's not even on the opposite side of the world, but he's full of coke, so it's great. I don't want to hear Keith Lee come out and be like, I'm soft-spoken and something... Actually, I can't remember a single Keith Lee promo he's done in the last few weeks. Please, Vince, don't take me back to the Performance Center. But I just want to hear him talk about, right, I'm going to eat my opponents for the protein and then feed the rest to my dogs. Something like that. Because everyone in the 80s on that horrible cycle of 500 shows a year, but you watch those promos and they're all higher than a giraffe's arsehole and they sound so happy compared to the roster in 2020. So I think Matt Martell, 205 Live and NXT fame, is definitely... No, actually, I realise how bad that sounds. Martel has the right idea and is absolutely not doing cocaine. I'd like to point it out.
I said this to you yesterday, Maffew. Martel is a fantastic impersonation of a coked-up macho man from the 80s with the tongue that comes out halfway through a sentence and he keeps going like that, like he's on cocaine, gurning like there's no tomorrow. So yeah, I'm fully on board with this. I mean, what you're saying here in a roundabout way is just like better writing for promos, allow the superstars to be themselves, not so cookie cut with the scripts they have to memorize back, from back to front and all that malarkey. But I agree, it's more succinct just to say pump them full of cocaine.
Yes. Thank you, Ross. We're in agreement.
It's weird, isn't it? Because people who don't know anything about wrestling, whenever wrestling is parodied on a show that's not wrestling, it's always that's the stereotype. The 80s, the Warrior and Hogan and Savage style. Well, let me tell you something. That's what they think wrestling still is. So I think if a lot of people tuned into wrestling today, or into WWE specifically, they'd be quite shocked. Be like, what's wrong with everyone? Why are they so down? So it's a yes from me, not the coke bit, just the general amped upness, I suppose. Would we find it, though, I'll ask you this, Maffew, would we find it a bit ridiculous in the modern age?
Ridiculous. The sport of professional wrestling. Let me have a think as I climb the ladder of success for the Sunday match between me and AJ Styles at TLC in front of a room full of monitors with people looking bored out of their skull. Yeah, you're right. It might be a bit too ridiculous, Jack. Good point.
Okay, it's a thumbs up. Yep, fair enough. It's a thumbs up from me then.
Yes for cocaine.
No, we've
Signed
not.
Cultaholic.
Right. Ross, what's your third and final pick?
Sorry, Pachidi. I'm sorry, Pachidi.
I reckon they do LSD backstage anyway. They're writing on Raw this week especially.
Hey.
We're sat here a matter of days after a man got trapped in a box and that box was set on fire. Then he came out as somebody else.
It's like Kafka.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Jack
chooses this. Sorry, Ross. Jack chooses this time to start drinking a Red Bull. Yes, you're right. I think they should get more Hank for the promos. That's fantastic. Go on, Ross.
I've got a message for a portion of the fan base of professional wrestling. Leave your tribalism at the door, you arseholes. I am sick to death in this line of work saying that I like something about WWE and being called a WWE shill. I'm sick of saying I like something that AEW does and being called an AEW shill. I'm sick of saying something that AEW does and people saying, oh, well, if WWE did that, you would have said you wouldn't like it and vice versa. And I'm sick of logging on Twitter and clicking a hashtag for a show and just people arguing over bugger all. It's just there's way more important things going on in the world. If you don't want to watch one company, don't watch it. Don't have a go at other people for enjoying something in their lives. This year, of all years, for Christ's sake, get your bloody priorities in order. Slap yourself in the face. Have a long, hard look in the mirror. You dickheads. Sick of it. I've had enough of it. It's just got... I don't know if it's because people obviously locked down at home and they're bored and haven't got much going on, but I'm sick of reading it everywhere I turn.
It's not just that. I think it would happen anyway, you know.
Yeah. That's me pitch there. Leave the tribalism at the door. I don't mind you getting behind the promotions going, yes, this is why AEW is the best, or yes, this is why WWE is the best, but don't take other people down because they like the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible.
It's a yes from me, and I've got a solution as well. I feel like every wrestling fan, especially the Americans, because they are less likely to, should be forced to support an English football team or a British football team, because football is a modern outlet and a replacement for war. Basically, we all support a team and get furious at the other fans and furious at our own team if they're not doing well, and channel a ludicrous amount of hate and passion and tears into our football team. This is speaking as a fan of a football team who are absolutely terrible currently. And I think that if you just got, Bob from Kentucky to follow Wycombe Wanderers for a season, he would channel all of his rage into them, and there'd be nothing left, and we could enjoy wrestling like it's meant to be enjoyed, which is that you don't support a team in wrestling. You look at all of it if you want, or as much as you want, and enjoy what you want to enjoy. So it's a yes from me, and up the mandatory football fandom mandate in 2021. Jack for president. Maffew.
Owen for champ. Yeah, that was lovely, Jack. And Ross, this was one I was going to do nearly until you took it from me as well. I'm not saying that social media before AW Dynamite came along was a party at Wacky Warehouse. But Lord,
what a reference!
I saw John Barnes at Wacky Warehouse in the year 2000. What a time that was!
Was he in the?
He was on the slides. He was doing the slides.
He's on the right to do it. That's fine. I'll let him off. It wasn't quite that before AW Dynamite or AW came along. But good Lord, since it came along, I've actually spent a lot less time on social media, despite being in solitary confinement half the time, because it's just so bad to watch and read. It's like, what's it called? How comes it? Or what aboutism? When you go, well, Kenny Omega's match with Joe Janela this week could have been better. I think, oh, well, why don't you just watch Raw then? I'm like, what?
Yeah, I got that.
Well, how have you? There's no one to shut up.
Yeah, didn't enjoy Raw.
Go to non-Twitch like in WWE Raw where they like that type of thing. I'm like, no, I don't like WWE. Oh, we don't like AEW either. Cast him into the pit. He doesn't even watch Being the Elite. And you're like, oh, for Christ's sake.
I tweeted out this week that I didn't like this week's, 2/3 of this week's Raw. I got 2 people telling me to find a new job. Well, if you don't like it that much, get a new job. You don't have to do that job, they were saying. I was like, I didn't like one show. It's not that bad.
One of them was Pacitti.
No, we only support AEW until we get on the Jericho cruise. That's the only reason for our clear bias over the past year and a bit.
Never going to happen.
No. Because we, support AEW and also Colin Quinn. Scheduled to be on that thing before he pulled out a month before. I like AEW. I like some of the stuff on AEW. I like some of the stuff on Raw and SmackDown. I don't like much of NXT, so I only skip the bits I like. And that's it. We are, and everyone else should be like this, like the Swiss, neutral, but happy to watch whatever comes our way that we like.
Yes.
It's exactly like the Swiss. Well done, Maffew. A perfect bloody analogy. And that leaves the last pitch, Mr. Jack.
So I've gone in a bit further on this one because on the surface, this pitch has been said by us before on multiple podcasts, multiple pitches, videos, and etc. So it's WWE needs to find a way to drastically improve the 24/7 division. We've said that before. We've said in the age of social media and all these multi-platforms, there has to be more inventive ways of doing it. I understand that this year they've had their scope limited because of the pandemic and the fact that you can't have too many people going out and about everywhere. But at the same time, it was exactly the same before everyone got locked down, wasn't it? I mean, it was becoming less and less inventive by the month. And Ross mentioned recently that a year ago, you had title changes on a plane and on a golf course, and it seemed like it was all going to be all right. And now it's been reduced to R-Truth loses the belt early in the show, disguises as something, wins it back, and runs away. And that's what it's been now for so long. So I've got an idea. My final pitch is called 24/7 Island. A popular thing in the past couple of years has been Battle Royale video games like Fortnite and PUBG and all that sort of stuff, and Call of Duty Warzone recently as well. Maffew, you're shaking your head immediately.
No, carry on.
Ross is just looking down.
I'm so tired. I've done 16-hour days for 10 days now. I'm just daft. I need cocaine. That's what I need. Nice big fat line.
So 24/7 Island is inspired by also films like Battle Royale, which was inspired by wrestling, by the way, and Hunger Games and all that sort of thing. There's going to be an island which Vince is going to buy, right, because he's got loads of money. There's going to be a mixture of rural and urban landscapes on this island. There's going to be a city, little towns. There's going to be a mountain range and a beach and all kinds of stuff. Drop one for a month every year. Let's say June, right? Not much going on in June in WWE. Drop the entire roster onto 24/7 Island, and there we go. And to mimic the Battle Royale format, you could even have the zones of the island narrow and narrow as the days go on to force them all together until you have one winner, and that is 24. And then the winner, and then at the end they all get airlifted out, and then the 24/7 thing just continues as normal, I guess. There's 24-hour coverage on the network. It's gonna be. Why am I talking like it's happening? It's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be so good. And I've realised that in suggesting this, I've also found my solution to my first pitch, which was what is AEW's equivalent of the Rumble going to be? Just do AEW Island, Khan Island, and then Tony Island sounds better. And there we have it. Thanks for letting me close this video on that. What are your thoughts on this pitch?
Wait, you're saying you don't like the 24/7 division currently in WWE?
Why is that what you've picked up on from all the bollocks
that's
I've
what you're
just
saying,
said?
you don't like 24/7 thing.
Yeah,
Why don't you watch AEW then?
No.
Sorry. Trying to bring imagination to that title, which is a nice idea. Because they've gone, we haven't got any ideas. So what should we do this episode? And they've gone, let's do what we always do. All right. Compared to what it was, that bit of a down change. So it's nice that you're doing that. I like the bit about dropping the roster on an island and leave them there. I like you could do that with a lot of talent, like all of NXT UK, and then just leave them and see if anyone notices they've gone. So what a great idea, Jack. It's a thumbs up from me.
Oh my God, he's giving it a thumbs up. Wow. Ross.
I really like it. I really like it.
Wow.
It's the best pitch of this video by a country mile.
None of the serious ones about welfare and health and all that.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like you wanted to shag each other just by the closing in.
No,
it reminded me of Love Island.
No.
That's what I thought of as well,
I've never watched a single second of Love Island, but it sounds a lot like what I believe Love Island to be in my deranged head. It just sounds like you want them all to shag and have some like scandalous affairs and stuff, like Eric and Akira Tozawa going off by the palm tree and...
Who knows what can happen in a month? You never know. The possibilities are endless. Literally endless. Right, well, thanks, guys.
That's how we're going to end, on Shag Island.
Shag Island is
fantastic.
I
think we should add an extra pitch. Can people still watch Cultaholic, please?
If anybody wants to contribute to this discussion on Twitter, please do use the hashtag Shag Island, and we'll see what happens from there. Thanks very much, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Maffew and Ross. Do you guys have any... Maffew, do you have anything to plug?
Well, it's New Year's, so make sure that you first foot your neighbour and bring some... oh, God, what they bring? Shortbread. Yes.
And Ross?
What did you say, Ross?
I said hootenanny.
Yeah, that too.
Bring the hootenanny.
Look, Ross, at this point, Oreos will be nice as well. Delta tradition. So, yeah, they should do that. Ross?
Anything exciting for 2021, Ross?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, sweet. Cool.
Yeah, do a resolution. You got one? You got one now? You started today?
Well, last year I was going to start going to the gym, but then the gym's closed, so might do that again.
That's the only reason. I've had
that is the only reason.
Yeah, they closed in March.
I'll prove it.
I was sat there all the way through lockdown going, damn it, if those gyms were open, I'd be in there 7 hours a day. Pumping all the iron.
No, I was making plans with the lads in the office. I put a thing in the chat. I said, does anyone want to start going to the gym? This was February. Aidan said yes. Gilly was in, even though he's not in the office, but he's a friend of the channel.
What chat was this? I wasn't involved.
Just general chat, Ross. It was there, but it probably got buried under like loads of computer game memes and bollocks like that. I did put it in the...
work with. It's terrible, isn't it? All these nerds.
It's dreadful. So, might do that again this year if the gym's open. The gyms are open, but if they're safe and that, and if everything gets a bit better... And now that I've said it publicly, I kind of have to, because everyone's just going to ask now. You've been going to the gym, Jack, have you?
Yeah.
So there we go.
Well, that'll be it. Me and you, we'll take selfies to prove it.
Well, you go anyway, don't you?
Well, legally, I don't think I could say I've been to the gym.
Well, not
last time I went
recently.
was bloody February time. Or
but
whatever,
you were a gym goer.
Yes, and I look like someone who used to go to the gym as well. So.
Well, Pachi said he went with you once, and you just did him all over. You just outpaced him.
I know, he never went again. We didn't do anything strenuous.
Oh,
I'm being funny, but like
Alpha Dog Maffew.
Here
there.
he is, the big boy. You big boy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I am. Every wrestler who hears this is going to go, so is Maffew like this? Like, is he like Pac then, or whatever? Like, is that it? And they're going to be so disappointed when they see me in real life, and I'm like, no, I'm just slightly above.
Take your shirt off. Go on.
There's nothing there. It's COVID and Christmas. There's nothing. This is I am topless right now. Is what I look like. So anyway, yes. That'll be a nice idea. Me and you should go for a jog, Jack, because you only need to join
I don't
in.
I hate running.
All right, great.
The way I was fit in my teens was by just the way to do cardio is to distract yourself with a sport that you like that involves cardio. I can't just do cardio for the sake of it.
I'll chase you.
Okay.
Play catchy kissy. Go on.
I'll
have Raw on a laptop and go. If you stop, you have to watch it. Come on. All right.
Why don't you just watch Dynamite then? Right. So, thanks very much everybody for watching this video. Leave your pictures, go on, why not, in the comments section down below. Discuss the ones that we've said as well. And stay very safe out there, stay positive, and we'll see you very soon.